Hello and welcome to Voices from the Park, our listening project, where we hear about the lives and thoughts of some of the wonderful people of the South Pennines Park. Today, we're listening to...
Hiya, I'm George. I live in East Manchester, Tameside, right on the edge of the South Pennine Moors. I go to college in Ashton and I study biology, geography and drama. And I'm interested in, gardening, walking, wildlife and environmentalism. I live in a little terraced house just on the edge of Stalybridge town, on the edge of the Tame River and the Huddersfield Canal. And then above where we live is the South Pennine Moors and Saddleworth Moor, RSPB Duff Stones. And I enjoy walking up on the high level peat bog moorland and down in the woods where there's an old abandoned power station and the canal. I like going up into the fields behind my house. We've had a barn owl that we've been seeing recently, which is always a treat to see. I go down to the canal and river where I think there's 2 pairs of dippers, 1 pair of kingfisher and some grey wagtails, herons, cormorants, pike in the canal. And then if I'm thinking of going on a bit of an adventure, I'll head up onto the moors. In the winter, you get the mountain hares turning white. In the summer, you get the golden plovers, the curlew. And just in general, even if you don't see anything up there, it's an amazing experience. And there's so much interesting history up there as well. You get this energy when you're up there, that this is such an impressive environment. For me, nature has always kind of been there as a lifesaver. I mean, I even remember my auntie's dad saying, if you're feeling a bit emotional, get out into the garden, get out into your green spaces, it'll make you feel so much better. I come home from college and I might be feeling a bit stressed, a bit, anxious of how the day's been. I don't sit at home and watch telly. I'll maybe just go out and sit in the garden. I don't necessarily do a job, but I'll just sit there and enjoy being immersed in the wildlife. And I think it's something that a lot of us have experienced during lockdown as well, particularly when we were trapped at home. We wouldn't really have the choice of going off to far-flung places, so we all discovered our own little patches, our own little pieces of nature that we could enjoy. Obviously, we're getting to the point now with human impact that it might not be there, but it should be there, and it should be there for everybody as an escape from the struggles of the sort of human world, if you like, to escape and to sort of go back to our roots and be in nature. My hero would be Chris Packham. He's amazing and he's been a massive influence on me. He also wants to help young people because I think he understands that it can be hard to be a young person particularly who's involved and interested in nature, because not a lot of other young people are. So often it can feel quite isolating because you haven't really got anyone to talk to about it. But Chris Packham's really good at creating a sort of a network of young people and trying to sort of harness our passions and our interests. A lot of the people that are involved in charity work that's environmental tend to be of the older generation, and I think because of that, a lot don't understand what it's like to be a kid in the modern generation. I think a lot of kids nowadays get a lot of stick for it, of saying, oh, you got your social media, you got your phones, life's so easy for you. It's really not at all, in the slightest. Kids nowadays have grown up in the biggest recession we've seen for a long time, a war, a pandemic, and all the negatives of social media that come with it. It's great, it's a brilliant thing, it's a great network for people, but it's also can destroy people's lives. And I think that's what certainly the older generation don't understand, but they also don't understand how to kind of reach out to kids and really harness that passion. And I think that's what a lot are lacking, is just a little bit of spark of youth. Everybody's got different interests, everybody's got different hobbies, everyone has a difference in what they like to do, but you'll only find out what your true kind of calling is if you just try everything. But there's so many branches of nature. There's gardening, walking, wildlife watching, conservation work, protesting for the environment. There's so many branches of having a passion for nature that you can kind of follow. You've just got to go down these different roads and see where it takes you. And eventually we'll find something where you think, yeah, this really suits me. This is where I'm meant to be.
Water, grit, blood and dirt, we're the proudest folk on earth.